Hey everyone, so in today's video we're going to be talking about dog proof raccoon traps. Now we have raccoons here and they're a major problem with our chickens. We have a chicken farm and we have several hundred chickens and we don't like raccoons killing our chickens, so what we do is we put some traps out. Live traps or these traps. Now these traps, what they do, they're designed to live trap a coon or a raccoon. It's when they put their arm down in here, this thing slams shut and pinches their arm. It doesn't kill them or anything like that, but it does lock their arm in place. Now they're dog proof because a dog can't get its nose down in here or their hands or anything like that. Now a cat can get his hand down in here, so if you're worried about that, just keep that in mind. Us, we don't have any outdoor cats, so we don't really care. We do have some wild cats around here and I don't want them around my chickens either. So I'm going to show you guys how to set this and a good place to put it and all that. So these are made by Duke. Now they don't sell them on Amazon unfortunately, but they do sell them on eBay and a couple other places. I'm going to put some links in the description to where you can buy these. I think that these are the best raccoon traps. The very first time I used this, I caught a raccoon. The very next day I caught a raccoon. The very next day I caught 3 raccoons in 3 days. So that's pretty ridiculous to me. Now these are kind of a pain to set if you don't know what you're doing. They come with a tool. I don't have that tool, but it makes it a lot easier to set this. But what you do is these got to go forward like this. This pin goes down into here, and this is where the trigger's at. It's down in there. So they reach their hand in there, and then that's how they get caught. And what I like to bait this with is cat food. Now I do cat food because it stays in here very well, and it smells really potent for raccoons. And also if I use like corn, which corn is fine too. I have chickens. Chickens will come eat all the corn and they'll eat out of this, and I don't want them to put their heads in here, obvious reasons. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys how to set this real quick. Very simple. Take your hands, put them like this, palms on the flat side. Take your 4 fingers right here and push them all the way in like that. And then put a finger up here and grab onto this pin. Take the pin and put it in the little slot right here. Once it's got down, it's not that much tension. And then like this. So a raccoon comes by, reaches their hand in here to get whatever in the bottom, and it catches on like that, and then it just grabs onto their arm and they can't get out of it. And then you take this side and you just put it down on a stake or something so they don't run off with this thing. Very easy to set, very easy to use. So we're going to set it again. Let's go ahead and get this set up. I'm in the woods at the edge of my property, and I'm going to show you guys how I do this. So I ended up throwing a bunch of dead carcasses over here so that raccoons got familiar with being over here and getting food. Basically anytime I find a dead animal on my farm for whatever reason, chicken or just a roadkill, whatever, it ends up over here. Now we have several hundred chickens, so every now and then a chicken will die. It just happens. So we put them over here and the next day they're gone. Something gets it, more than likely a raccoon. So let's go ahead and get a stake, put it in the ground, and then we'll set this up and I'll show you how it's done. I just got a piece of rebar, 5/8. I think it works out pretty well. I'm gonna hammer it down in the ground, about a foot. Something like that, nothing ridiculous. This is an old fence post I use, that's why I have these on here. So what I'm going to do now is take this, put this chain over here, and then I like to put this back on here in case somehow a raccoon can somehow scale up this whole thing. They can't with this on here. Alright, so the trap's not that sensitive, so just know that. And you could bait it before, I'm going to bait it afterwards. So what you do is you just take this and you push it down in there like that. Very simple. It just has a little stake on there, push it into the ground, and then what we're going to do is we're going to fill this full of cat food. So I like to use this kind. We have a cat, so it's not like it's we have the cat food already, but what I like to use is the pate style. The reason I use that is that it's kind of thick and clumpy, and it'll fold down in there and stay down in there, and it smells like cat food would smell. Just put it down in there. Not worried about setting the trap off or anything like that. A raccoon will set the trap off because they're really pushing their hands down in there trying to get to this. Some people use bacon grease and corn, and that's, like I said, that's fine. But if you have chickens, you gotta kind of worry about that. So just pack it down in there. Maybe put a little bit on the top so they can smell it, or on the ground or whatever. And then voila, we'll come back and we'll check this tomorrow. I'm gonna set another trap somewhere else off camera, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna check those traps tomorrow, and hopefully we can catch a raccoon. Show you how this works. I got the second one set up, all baited, ready to go with cat food. Nice little spot next to a creek, kind of dry creek, but creek. And it's at the corner of my, or the edge of my property, away from my animals, and in the corner here. Now, you can use live traps as well, and I have some live traps. The only problem I have with live traps is that catch chickens in them. Because chickens will eat pretty much anything a raccoon will eat. So you got to be kind of careful with that. Constantly setting it off for chickens and whatnot. Anyways, we'll check back on these tomorrow or the next day, or whenever we catch a raccoon. We'll check the bait, make sure they're not getting all the bait and then leaving. And we'll see how good it works. All right, it's the next day. We're checking these traps. I'm just incorporating it with my my normal day-to-day chores, and it only takes a minute or two, no big deal. Oh shit. We got one. Oh, it's just a possum. So these things catch possums, cats, and raccoons pretty well. So the very next day, within 24 hours, we already caught something. So what we're gonna do here is, you know, take care of business. Now, just know, in some states it's legal to shoot animals. In some states, it's definitely illegal to relocate animals. You can't relocate an animal onto someone else's property. That's 100% illegal here. Keep that in mind. And then a lot of places, if I let this go, it'll just come back. So, you know, you're a responsible adult. You do what you think is right. Anyways, hey man, if you guys like these traps though, let me know, because that's I think it's pretty cool, and they work out really well, and they're a lot easier to use than the live traps. All right, well, hey, thanks for watching.